in the mirror today. What is going on, guys? Sorry we are late.
It's okay.
Totally lost track of time and when this was scheduled, but this is going to be our spoilers discussion for Black Widow. We saw it Thursday night, now it is Sunday night, and there is a lot of spoilers to talk about. I know our review is really short, and it's mainly because there's just so much to talk about in this movie that's just spoilers, and I was nervous to talk about so much stuff. But why don't I address first who is all in the chat right now, and then we will get into all of the spoilers in this movie because there are a lot of them for sure. Let me see. Let's see. Stephen Farrow is in the chat. Godzilla, Five Nights at Trolls World Tour, Carno Fanboy. And that looks like I'll definitely catch up to these comments too. 11 versus Pennywise from Godzilla. That sounds like an interesting one. Why can't I read the chat? All right, yeah, Steven, sorry, the stream did just start, and sorry we were late. And Smilezilla, I see you there. What's going on? So why don't we just get into some of the spoilers? We're gonna try to make this. I don't know how long this is exactly gonna be. Try to cover all the spoilers we can. And what I think, what do you want to start off with? You want to start off with what we thought of the movie again, just to recap what our thoughts were.
I mean, I enjoyed the movie. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. There was a lot of stuff to enjoy of it. There was some good action sequences. The special effects were great for the most part. No complaints there. I liked the acting in it. There was really no annoying characters. So everyone did a good job, and I liked the storyline. And it was a good little side story that I was much more invested in than I thought for a movie of a character that you know is going to survive in the end. So
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of good things to like in this movie.
Yeah, I gave this an 8.5. I walked out of the theater happy. I thought there was a lot to like about it. The action was really good. There's a lot of interesting stuff about this movie. A lot of twists and turns that I did not see coming. A lot of shocking moments, which was shocking, ironically, to me because of what you just said. We knew Black Widow. We know what happens. So what is in between, I really didn't know what they could all do. But overall, I thought it was a good movie. There's some stuff that really frustrated me, and I couldn't talk about it all, and some stuff that's kind of bothering me more and more that I think about it and see other reviews. It's kind of bothering me more. And we're going to get into the exact spoilers, though, right now. Let me read some comments first. Stephen Farrow, have you guys watched the Tomorrow War? We have not yet, but we do plan on seeing that at some point. We've not seen it yet, but I think I will be. I think we'll be able to see that eventually. And then, Carno Fanboy, I remember hearing it was going to be released in 2022. Which movie? Which movie are you talking about? Talking about Black Widow, or are you talking about Tomorrow War? Smilezilla, have you ever planned to do a matchup with MCU Black Widow? Well, we have done a matchup in the past with Black Widow. We did it a while ago. I think it was Black Widow versus Harley Quinn. But I mean, I've been thinking about doing more superhero matchups, so maybe we'll have to include Black Widow in there too again. Then I see some other recommendations. I'll try to keep note of those. But why don't you want to get into some big spoilers or one big spoiler? We can kind of go back and forth if you want to.
I think the biggest spoiler in this one, I would have to say, is just the villain character and who it was. I know leading into it, I definitely assumed it was a male, and just was like a really cool just villain that was set out to kill Black Widow and had a bigger mission. I did not see it coming that it was going to be the actual main villain's daughter character who we thought was killed by Black Widow, which is one of her most haunting things from her childhood. I guess not her childhood, but her time as her past, her troubled past. And when they did that reveal, I definitely didn't see it coming. I know a lot of people act like they did. I did not see it coming just because of the costume. You wouldn't have thought that for what she was wearing. And I thought it was a really cool character. There's a lot of boss scenes earlier on. But after you did see that reveal, you kind of lost the fear aspect to it because it wasn't like it was someone that was like trying. It seemed it was all the mind control thing, and then you realize that she really wasn't wanting to do what she was doing. So it really made me lose interest as far as like that villain goes. And then the final fight was really not a fight between those two. It's more of like Black Widow trying. It's almost like the fight between Black Widow and Hawkeye when Hawkeye. We know Hawkeye is good, but they're like pulling their punches a little bit. Well, she's pulling her punches because she doesn't want to kill her friend. So it's like that was kind of a disappointment to me a little bit towards the end. But there was a lot of great stuff in there and some good hand-to-hand combat because obviously in this film, there's really no superhuman people outside of, what's his name? The Crimson...
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. I see, his name's Red Guardian, but I keep calling the name that the sister Elena called him because the Crimson Dynamo. And then I'll say that was probably the funniest scene in the movie to me was that scene when he talks to his youngest daughter. Well, it's not his daughter. We should talk about that too.
Yeah,
the family aspect wasn't even actually a family.
Well, I know that's a big one too. I did want to address the Taskmaster thing, I guess, first, since you talked about it, is that it made it... It wasn't the fact that because it was a girl it took away anything. It was just the fact that when the mask came off, it was really shocking, but then, like you said, the villain, she's not even a villain. Like, she's not... You don't know
it
what
really
she's
wasn't a
trying
villain
to.
in this movie.
She was just confused. She didn't know what she was doing, and so, like, it totally takes away the boss aspect of it, that it's like they make him good. I mean, once again, we were just talking about this, how many times they make the villain good, and they basically make it to where she's good.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just being, like, told...
She didn't
being
kill anyone.
mind-controlled, I guess.
Not on screen. Did she kill a single person in
Well,
this
she
movie?
was trying to. Well, yeah, that's
She's
true.
trying,
She really
but-
wasn't trying to, because she could have killed Black Widow at one part, and she didn't.
I don't
But
think she... Yeah, I don't
she
remember.
hit her off a bridge, though. I mean, she was blowing up cars. So she was, like, running
Trying,
over...
but she didn't actually.
She was running over a lot of cars in that street. I guarantee people would die.
We
there.
didn't see one person die on screen
Well,
from-
people were dying in those
from
cars.
Taskmaster. Okay, well, you
She
can't
was
confirm
running
that.
over people in cars. I mean,
Can't confirm
that
that.
one van gets crushed.
You can't, okay, well, crush it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Black Widow's van gets blown up and she doesn't die.
whether she, like, actually killed someone on screen, she was trying to kill a lot of people, and I guarantee you, collateral damage, she killed a lot of people. But it was
It's all
definitely...
speculative.
Taskmaster was really cool in those scenes leading up to it, all the abilities, and while they did shy away from the Taskmaster after what they reveal, I still thought it was cool, but I am very frustrated that they didn't make it a more clear-cut villain. Very frustrating. And that was probably one of the most frustrating things. The other thing I guess we can talk about is that their family, this family you think is Black Widow, her sister, the mom and dad, isn't really a family, and that I kind of noticed at the start, something was off because the parents just give them away. And,
Yeah, after
and
that moment.
even at first, it kind of seemed like when the dad got home, like he was either bad or didn't care at all.
Yeah.
But then the way they kind of were talking, I kind of got the vibe that something was weird. But then to find out that the mom and dad, their fake mom and dad really didn't care.
For a
They were
second,
just getting a mission done.
yeah, for a second, I got like an Incredibles vibe. Like it was like a superhuman family because I knew that the dad character had superpowers. And I was like, wait, well, I wanted to know what the mom's powers were. And then I guess obviously Black Widow didn't really have powers per se, but she's almost like a Harley Quinn. Like she's like super like she's athletic and she was very like strong even before she did the training for Black Widow.
But she
And then
doesn't
the
know
youngest
any
daughter,
actual
she's very young.
superpowers.
No, but like she's still very skilled. Though you
Yeah,
saw that as
well,
a
yeah.
kid. She was able to fight a little bit as a kid. I mean, not much happened. She was still athletic as a kid.
Yeah.
So it's just like I almost got that vibe for a second. But then when they get to that, I forget where the first place they went. I don't know if it was Morocco or where they went originally.
Haiti or
was,
Morocco or Budapest.
Wherever they were the first time that like where the plane landed, that's when things you figured out that the dad and the mom were basically spies for the most part, working for for what's his name, Draco. Dracoff, whatever his name was, they were working. I was thinking Draco. They were working for him, and the whole family was like their mission was to live in Ohio for 4 years. A little shout out to where we live.
I know.
And,
that was crazy.
And basically, like it was like a fake family. The two girls, I guess, were adopted from the families they were from. I guess they were both abandoned, basically. I'll take that back. Black Widow,
Taken.
Natasha's mom, was actually murdered. So she was actually taken from her mom. The other kid, I don't know where she came from exactly.
Yeah.
But it was like a fake family, and they didn't know that, which is kind of sad. There's definitely some emotion there too. It's like when the kids think that's their parents, and it's really not. So there's some scenes where I can feel their pain. Outside of the fact that they were like literally thrown into like a camp to like either turn them into like assassins or to murder them, and
Yeah.
they both made it out of it. But the scenes were like they wanted to like keep that family unit because at first really the only person that wanted to keep that family unit was Elena, and that's why that scene was super funny to me because it was like a just really terrible line for the dad to say when like she wanted to like have a family and then instead of like saying like I'm sorry for being like a jerk and only focusing on myself, he's literally like corrects her on what his name is.
Yeah.
Instead, it's not Crimson Dynamo. It's what is it again?
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. So I thought he was a great character, but then just I like the unit part, and then they did eventually come together at the end. And I was kind of frustrated to see them split up again at the end. It was like, obviously that makes sense because, like, Black Widow didn't really have them at all in any of the movies that you saw her, so it makes sense. But it was kind of cool to see that unit. And all the scenes with them together on screen really worked for me.
Yeah, it was. I think there was some really good emotion with them kind of revealing that they weren't really their parents and that they kind of didn't care, even though they kind of hint to the point where they kind of cared, but at the end of the day, they really don't. Like, they're just, I mean, that was their mission. So maybe they felt some connection to them, pretending to be their mom and dad, but basically it's like, no, we were doing a mission. We were doing a mission, and basically we don't care that much because they're that messed up from the Red Room stuff that it's like they just got the mission done and that was it. I mean, at the end of the day, the Evie character, the mom and dad, they're both like they really don't care.
Yeah, I mean the dad did remember stuff though. He remembered the song that I went like. Stuff, the mom liked remembered some of the lines she had, and she eventually you think that she took the side of Dracoff, but then she actually did realize like she took the right side of defending her daughters and like taking the good side, not taking the bad side at the end. Because then they did the whole Mission Impossible face reveal.
That's true. Did they switch like literally when does Max actually want to get in the line?
I said call. You want to call in?
Well, we can get a we're getting a call in from Max. Spoiler discussion.
Last name, but yeah, we're gonna call from the person that we saw in the.
Tell him we're on stream first, then he knows. You answer first.
What's up, Max? Hey, I'm about to. Are you good if I put you on speaker? just know that we're live right now. There you go.
I didn't put Max. So Max just joined the stream. What's going on, Max?
Max is live.
Hey guys, how we doing?
No, face it over. So Max is live on air right now, and I guess what's one spoiler? What do we want to talk about? Max, what were your thoughts on Taskmaster and the reveal of Taskmaster?
The villain.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to thank you guys for letting me call in. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
So I just want to clear things up. We are spoiling, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So is it to assume that people who are on this stream have already seen the movie?
Well, not necessarily, but we did put in the title spoilers, and we gave a warning before we started. So.
Yeah, people are aware.
So they're SOL if they decide to watch, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, at their own risk.
You know, Taskmaster. Is that how you say it, Kenny? Taskmaster?
Yeah. I said it wrong, I think.
So, pretty shocked that it was his daughter when that happened. With the face reveal. They don't really go into huge detail about the whole story of Black Widow, Natasha having to kill the daughter. I don't know. Is that in another movie that I maybe haven't seen?
No, I've never seen that referenced at all. Like, at least that specific instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they kind of just came up with that. But interesting that, when she theoretically killed the daughter, and now it's this grown woman controlled by a robot, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, which is something kind of confusing is that we were talking about in the theater is the main Dracoth says that she got her face blown off. So we were trying to say, is it just her head? And we still don't really know. Is that just the head on a robot body? Or just the face?
Yeah, that was a good question when you asked it. I still don't know.
Yeah, we need another.
That was a huge explosion. That was a huge explosion. The fact that only the side of her face would be injured is kind of hard to believe.
Well, I would think if the face was blown off, most of the body was also blown off.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is Marvel, so
that's true.
I mean, Crossbones, I guess, theoretically got crushed by a giant jumbo plane helicopter thing, and he actually looked like he was in really good shape. So I don't know.
You didn't really see it. I actually didn't see her body, so it's left for interpretation. But I don't know. The fact that neither one of them died from that explosion is pretty. Well, first of all,
Darth Vader got his limbs burned off. So
was he not in the room with her? Because wasn't her dad in the room?
Yeah.
How did he have no scratches at all?
He must not have been.
Yeah, he couldn't. No,
he was sitting at that desk.
he got no.
But he
wounds
must
from
he
that?
must have walked out
The
or
whole
something.
building exploded.
No, the pheromones mean that the fire can burn him.
That's no.
Oh, that's a good thought, Kenny.
The building didn't have the pheromones in it.
But why don't we read some comments here, because I know I can't catch up to all the comments. But Chrono Fanboy said, did you get popcorn?
Who, me?
He's asking all of us. So I think Max, or you and Max both got popcorn.
Yeah, I think Max got a.
I got a small popcorn. Jake went big and got a large.
Yeah, so Jake
Right,
got the large-
I did get a large popcorn.
Yeah, so they got, I say they, our caller Max and Jake got popcorn.
Yeah.
There's no free refills anymore, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a travesty.
I did want to mention really quickly about the theater experience. We had one person spill, I believe, Skittles or M&Ms behind us.
That can't be
Oh,
confirmed.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we had a man choking a row in front of us for like the first 5 minutes of the movie.
It's true.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we would need to get up and have to get Heimlich at one point, but
I mean, it was like
I mean-
right as the movie started. It was like 5 weak coughs instead of just like coughing it out. So it just lingered.
Yeah, it was.
and I just kept looking at Kenny and Jake like, is this guy okay?
Yeah, no,
We
I
should-
know. I thought we were gonna have to like actually go get like the medics. I mean, he kept coughing, but then he stopped. I didn't know if he was still alive or not.
Yeah, I'd be like, put my hand on his shoulder and be like, you want more cough? I'm going to get management in here.
Let me see here. So one comment does say, which movie do you think is better, Pacific Rim or Godzilla King of Monsters? This is totally away from what we're talking about right now. but Max, have you seen King of the Monsters or Pacific Rim?
No.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? What do you think is better?
I mean, honestly, I think Pacific Rim is the better movie, but Godzilla King of the Monsters had better kaiju action. If that makes any sense at all.
I mean, that's. I think Pacific Rim. Comparing those movies,
They're both good movies.
yeah, I like both, and that's why I'm picking one.
Those
kinda
aren't
hurts.
even the same. Those aren't the same universe, are they?
No.
Not as of now.
Well, even though there's a lot of Easter eggs that make it very
Are there?
questionable. But why don't we? So there was another. So Max, are there any other spoilers or a spoiler in particular that you wanted to talk about? Actually, why don't we talk about Black Widow falling from a 10-story building and like doing a worm technique off the
Oh, yeah.
beams and then landing perfectly?
Have you guys like rewatched that somehow?
No, we've only seen it this
Well-
Thursday.
I mean, that was the craziest part of the movie for me.
Do you want to explain that scene more in detail so people know what we're talking about?
So, Natasha is, I forget, is she chasing or being chased by one of the other mind-controlled Black Widows?
It's just being chased.
Yeah, and they're like on that chimney that somehow comes out of the roof.
Yeah, that's true.
And the mind-controlled Black Widow falls literally 60 feet, sprains her ankle, and commits suicide.
Yep.
And Black Widow Natasha hits 7 different things on the way down and lands on her feet.
Perfectly.
And like gets up and is like, "Oh, let's roll."
Well,
That-
in her defense, in the defense of the movie, she was kind of holding her side a little bit.
I didn't see that.
Oh, Kenny, that makes it more realistic.
Yeah,
One
her
broken
legs-
rib.
Yeah, no, she has one like bruised rib.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. She had to give it a little stretch.
Wait, did she land?
Calisthenics.
Did she land on her feet?
Yeah.
She landed on her feet.
See, that's the part that I'm missing because I feel like maybe I saw the other girl hit her back into the water because I don't remember her landing. Because literally, like you said, Max, like she hit 3 different balconies and like jolted aggressively.
Yeah, like if that happened to one of us, we would die.
Right.
I mean,
And-
hey, in the comments, do you think if you saw this movie, the part where Black Widow falls off the building, do you think that's realistic? Do you think she could have survived that, or do you
Is that
think
actually a
she would die?
question?
Well, I'm telling you, I just want to
I
see if
yes.
anyone thinks that if that was realistic. Because a similar movie is John Wick Chapter 3.
Yeah.
That John Wick falls off freaking the whole
Yes.
building, hits a balcony, lands on the
beat up.
ground. He's beat up, but he's still in one piece.
His face is
technically.
bruised. Like it's like more realistic.
He gets
He
carried
didn't
off by a
land on
shopping
his
cart.
feet, though.
No, he lands like dead on the ground.
Yeah, he landed hard.
Well, so Stephen Farrow said no, so I'm guessing he means it's not realistic that she fell in that way. And Five Nights at Trolls World Tour says no way. So, yeah.
I mean, even Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man fell from a building and hit his back on a car, and he's like a superhuman. He was injured. Like, he hurt his shoulder.
Yeah, I
from
mean,
that.
maybe there's like, maybe that's like a softer kind of vent, like on the side of a building, so she hit like softer
She
vents.
still hit the
that-
cement, the brick, or the concrete floor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, well, this scene, I think most people agree that was not very realistic. But
Yeah.
what's another spoiler
I
we
mean,
can kind of
like,
hit on?
one more scene building off of that was when Elena, the one who like blew up the ship with the main villain on it, when she fell and Black Widow gave her a parachute, she was falling like basically dead
yeah.
from the ground from the sky, and I love how they cut away from her like floating, then all of a sudden they just show her perfectly laying on the ground in the grass, but between like all this metal. So you're telling me that she fell perfectly between that and laid right there perfectly?
Well, that's
Like
true.
she could have decapitated herself right there.
Well, that's true. The parachute things always bother me in movies where I think it happened in Winter Soldier where Falcon opened his parachute like 10 feet before he hit the ground,
Yeah.
and there's just no effing way that it
Well,
actually applies. You
yeah.
have to glide for like at least
She was in the air though,
5
gliding.
minutes.
But she should have landed like she could have landed 10 miles the wrong way.
Yeah, well, okay.
What
So,
happens if she lands in the water?
well, I mean, no, here's one thing I want to get Mag's opinion on. Is the beginning of the movie, I don't know if anyone remembers this. The very beginning, they're getting chased by the cops and they get on the plane. And then, what's his name? The Red Guardian
Yeah.
is on the wing of the plane as they take off.
Well,
And then suddenly, he's just in the plane. Explain to me how the F he got back in that plane.
There's a window there.
The windows were closed.
Yeah, but they were
Yeah.
shot.
Kenny, that again is, Hollywood. But the bigger thing was they're in Ohio
Yeah.
on that teeny tiny little plane. Next thing you know, they're in effing Cuba.
Yeah, wait, where's Cuba on the map?
Yeah,
Right now?
that's true.
That is like
Here, I'll type it in right
3,000
now.
miles.
3,000 miles.
That's a pretty good plane.
Like, yeah, I mean, that plane must run on potatoes.
Yeah.
Because they would have had to stop for fuel.
And they were taking a lot of like gunfire before that, so the plane was damaged. It ran into stuff.
And they can't act like they were being weird about it. Because remember the plane that like the one the Red Guardian said like don't worry about it, like we'll make it, and then it just shows like
Yeah.
breaking like
Yeah.
so they are realistic with planes somewhat in the movie, but not with that first one.
So Cuba is.
That's pretty far.
Another thing, Kenny, why is it always in movies that when there's some random place, random setting, it's Ohio?
Well,
Where's the middle of nowhere here?
what
Yeah. Like, where is the most lame state in all
Yeah,
of America?
seriously.
the most
That's true.
basic
That's true.
bland place though.
Wait, did they say what city they were in?
I don't think so.
No, they just said
Was
Ohio.
that filmed in Ohio?
I really doubt it.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be cool if they showed them like driving through like past Julius?
Yeah, so in case you're wondering, we live in Ohio, and the theater we watched this in was in Ohio. So when that happened, it said the beginning of the movie's in Ohio. I heard a bunch of people around. I was like, oh, Ohio, look at that. So, because not a lot of stuff happens in Ohio, apparently. So, although, no, because the Ready Player One was another movie that took place in Ohio. Because the guy's
Yeah.
in this shed and he can't do anything, and then he
That's
gets in the
Cleveland,
video
I'm pretty
game.
sure too, right? Cleveland, Ohio.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then,
Wait, we should have saw what there was a high school football game going on. We should have seen what high school that said.
well, I know.
I'm sure they probably didn't have the rights to use an actual high school, but if they did, I'll have to look and see what team that was.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was like the country type or area, so who knows? It could have been like. Well, I'm not sure where it was, but anyway.
Well, I do want to mention another big spoiler scene is when the Red Guardian's in prison,
Yeah.
and he's arm wrestling a bunch of guys. And this is
That was
something
good.
that I saw someone comment about. I think it was Chris Stuckman who commented about it. He's getting a tattoo on his back while arm wrestling, and like,
Yes.
there's no effing way you could get a tattoo while arm
He's
wrestling.
not human. He's like Captain America.
But you couldn't stay still to get a tattoo when you're arm wrestling.
Well, did you see? I think they were actually giving him a Captain America tattoo.
I'm saying
Yeah, I
there's
think
no
that
way
was a
you
little
could.
Easter egg.
Yeah,
Oh, well, I didn't see that, but
like I bet
there's
he
no
said
way.
Even a Red Guardian tattoo.
exactly.
No, but there's no way you could stay still enough to get a tattoo while arm wrestling.
Well, he could. I'm saying he did because he's like a superhuman.
If you move at all, it's freaking messed up. That's just one thing.
Yeah,
someone
well, I mean,
said.
okay, that's a very
I've never gotten
minor-
a tattoo,
yeah.
but the other thing is when he's arm wrestling these guys, he's destroying them, and then this giant guy walks in, which I watch a lot of like strongman, world's strongest man stuff, and I really thought that guy was someone from the strongman because he's freaking massive, but I don't think he is. But that was a pretty crazy scene.
Yeah.
Now, imagine,
Oh,
Not
okay.
his wrist.
yeah.
There aren't too many guys in the world that are that large, so it could have been.
Yeah. I mean, I actually do also watch arm wrestling too, so I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
You can see my favorite arm wrestler out there. But
I wanted to ask Max because I know, like, I'm sure. Did you know that the dad character had like superhuman powers before watching the movie?
No.
So that first scene when they're like escaping the police or like the the
And he
police.
like throws a giant dumpster.
Yeah, when that happened, I looked over at Max and he like jolted back in his seat, looking at me like completely confused, and that is probably very jarring for someone that doesn't know. Like, just some random guy throws a dumpster like it's nothing. Like that's kind of, and you don't know he's superhuman until like way later in the movie. So I feel like a lot of people might see that and be like, "What did I just witness?" And that and he was on a plane too, so it's like,
yeah, Max, what were your thoughts about that scene?
Well, how, is he like a comic guy?
Yeah,
Like
he
has
is.
been in
Russia's-
other movies?
Yeah, he's in the comics. The thing is, they don't really explain how he got his superpowers or anything about that. So, I didn't really know he was super strong. I thought he was just a big guy. So when that happened, I was surprised. Like, wow, and that said a lot, though.
It said no. Angry Joe talked about how it's basically Russia's version of Captain America. Like they got their hands on some kind of
So he has the serum.
some of the
that-
serum, but not the exact same stuff. So, like
Okay.
it was like their country's version of that or whatever. I think that's what I heard someone say.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Even though he didn't do a whole heck of a lot.
No,
This movie,
yeah,
I
that,
think
that was the one.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that was very disappointing when he got literally 0 punches in on Taskmaster. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her name, right?
Yeah.
Like I wanted like one shoulder or something, but they only like in the 2 minutes. I'm not even 2 minutes. Like a minute and a half of them fighting, he got 0 positive things in that fight.
Well,
Very
that was,
disappointing.
that was the other weird thing is like you see Taskmaster and Red Guardian like facing off. They're ready to fight. You see like Taskmaster apply the Black Panther claws, and then it cuts away for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What just happened? Like
That's
I want to
true.
see that fight, but
Yeah.
then they kind of cut back and kind of montage over it. Honestly, you just kind of
Yeah.
see some stuff, and then it ends.
There
And
was,
then the other
there was a
thing
lot
is-
going on.
The main, what's her name? Evie's name in this movie.
Yeah, I can't think
Kinda-
of her name.
She kind of just leaves him there, like in a comic relief scene, even though he definitely could have died. He's just kind of like, she was like, "Oh, you can handle it," and just like
Yeah,
left
she-
him there.
she did leave
He
him
could
there.
have died. I
That's
mean,
right.
the Taskmaster is like literally mimics everything, so she's basically unbeatable, and she's just kind of like, "Man, I don't give an F."
That's pretty.
I mean-
that's pretty bad.
Like she's like, "You deal with that. I'm just getting out of here."
The
Like,
most
I mean,
tense, the most stressed I was in the movie was when that one pig was like suffocating, and I thought they like cut away, like they were gonna kill this pig off,
That's true.
and then they actually do save it.
That was scary.
You know, I was wondering too if they were just gonna let this pig die.
I was about to walk out of the theater.
yeah,
when they did that.
Max, would you have left the theater?
No, I wouldn't have left the theater. As long if they would have cooked it up in a short amount of time, and made some good bacon, it would have been fine. But
No, so that whole conversation, I don't think anyone was listening to what they were saying, because everyone's like, "Wait, they're gonna save this pig, or are they just gonna like have it suffocate there in the
Yeah.
background?"
I don't have a clue what they were saying because
I was
pig
too-
literally keeled over. Like, and then she's casually like, "Oh, it could have lasted another 11 seconds."
Yeah, right.
No big deal. Like,
Like I'll take that back. They did cut back every like 4 seconds and show it like choking, but then it would go back to the conversation.
Well, yeah, that was a really stressful scene. That's probably the most suspenseful scene in the whole
Yeah.
movie because I really thought that pig was gonna die. And I was like, you know what?
One big
If
spoiler.
pig dies, I'm effing out of here.
The big spoiler I want to talk about, the last one that I don't think that I want to cover is when Natasha is basically taunting the guy to punch her, and her plan was to make him like sever the
nerve.
thing is, the nerve in her forehead. But when
Yeah.
she had to like slam her head on the desk, I was thinking to myself like,
Ooh.
what if that would have like knocked her out? Like what? Like
That
that's a
would've been-
really hard hit. I mean, you can't just hit your head on something like that, make yourself bleed, break your nose, and like not be like a little bit wobbly after that. You
You
know?
see, at first I thought what she was doing was like she was like getting him to sweat, and then the sweat would like make him not like get the smell off him or something. That's what I thought. But then, yeah, it was actually she had to
Yeah,
break
sever
like sever a nerve to make
Yeah.
her nose like not work right.
Well, it wasn't her nose. It's like her. I thought it was like in her forehead. That's why she should have just hit her forehead. She hit her nose and her forehead.
Well, yes, I think she had to like break her nose back in place, so she had to break.
Well, no,
something
Max,
to
we
stop
can ask
it.
Max about that. That was probably the most gruesome scenes in the movie.
Yeah, the nose
The
break.
nose
scene.
breaking scene.
Well, I would just like to say, Kenny, that's why you're the best. Because when the guy was punching Natasha, I thought she was just, taking hits for whatever reason. I didn't think, oh, she's trying to get the smell away somehow. But first of all, when she slammed her nose on the desk, that was like, ow.
Yeah.
And then, after everything's done, while this structure is falling from the sky, she just pops her nose right back into place like she's Steve Nash or something.
Like she's just fixing her hair, just crash back into place, you know. Yeah, that was a little brutal.
I feel like the biggest spoiler, though, guys, is you guys are much more familiar with the timeline. The last clip, like after the credits,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you want to talk about that?
is,
credits
is Natasha's sister the new Black Widow for the Avengers.
That's what we were actually talking about on the way home. I'm not sure if we talked about that with you, Max, or if that was after we had left. But like how, like we were hoping that scene of her by Natasha's grave would have been like one of the Avengers saying, "We have an opening now. Would you like to fill in your sister's spot?" And like fill up by taking her shoes. But then it ends up doing a different route where
they ended up doing a collab with Seinfeld, right?
Yeah, you're right. They did do a collab with Seinfeld there, and
yeah. And
like,
Newman comes in.
And like, but see, someone talking about this like as a movie fan, and as like we watched Avengers Endgame, we know that Hawkeye didn't murder her literally. Like that did not happen. Like they both tried to kill each other like on purpose, and then she just like got him to get attached to the rope more than she was, and then she pushed herself off. But someone had said because there's a Hawkeye TV series coming out, that's like what they were leading that into or something.
Yeah, that could very well be it.
Yeah, I heard someone behind me mentioning that.
I didn't know
I
he had
do
a TV
think that's
show.
the reason. Yeah, I think that was definitely shocking. I do, like you were saying, I wish it would have just been like an intro into the Avengers because she was really good. Florence Pugh was really good in the movie.
Her.
And now that Black Widow is obviously dead. I still don't understand why that character didn't come back in the other movies. It's going to be hard to explain that one. But at the end of the day, I mean, she'd be a really good character for the Avengers. And she's really good in this movie. And I still am wondering, she'd be able to be on the team. But then I wonder if the Alexei and Melina, I'm reading the cast now, the two fake parents in the movie will come back as well. Because, I mean...
Hopefully. I mean,
you
Lexi
know that guy's not coming back.
Yeah, he's definitely not back.
All right,
but wait, what was I going to say? There was maybe one more scene.
Well, but also, why don't we read some comments here? Carno Fanboy said he's leaving at 8:29, so hopefully Carno Fanboy
See
comes
Carno?
back. Five Nights at Trolls World Tour says Berserker Mode Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla. Now, who do you think will win that one?
Wait, say it again?
Oh, yeah. No, it's Berserker Mode Godzilla, so it's like the free most overpowered Godzilla. Now,
I
Max did not see this movie. He walked out. But
I think Godzilla, Berserker Mode Godzilla plus the Fire Godzilla to get combined. But
Yeah.
I think he would have a much better chance than getting his head slammed into the building 5 times in a row.
Just getting thrown on a sack of potatoes.
Yeah. But I mean, Mechagodzilla's a force.
Yeah, Max, what do you think about Mechagodzilla?
He never saw Mechagodzilla.
Alright, but
Max has an opinion on that movie that he will not state on this channel.
Yeah, I'll keep that to myself.
Yeah, this is a big monster channel, so
yeah, you don't want to attack that movie
I
on
want
this
to get
channel.
canceled on my first call in.
Yes.
So.
That video that you were in, Max, will get downvoted.
Yeah, and sorry, Max. If I would have known you were calling in, I would have put you in the thumbnail. But maybe I'll edit that in later.
Yeah,
But what's another?
I need to give that movie a second chance with some more patience, but
Watch the monster fights. Just
Yes.
skip to the monster fights.
we'll see.
But I'm trying to think. I think we hit on basically all the spoilers. I'm trying to think.
That was my one complaint I wanted to talk about in the non-spoiler that I didn't talk about was, I mean, every villain I feel like has to do this in some movies, but not to this degree where, like, he did not need to explain what he was doing. Like, he literally showed Black Widow exactly how to get into his system with, like, what device. I know it has to happen for the movie's sake, but,
Yeah.
like, I just feel like that happens over and over again where the villain's like, this is how I get into my super secret system
I
here.
could never be stopped.
And then it's like, did you have to say that and show her all this? Like, you could have just said it without showing her on your screen exactly what your plan is.
Freaking Ego did the same thing.
Why not?
He said exactly what he did. But
Yeah, that's kind of like those Geico commercials where these people at like a scary house.
Yeah.
And they're running
Yeah.
an axe murderer, and they're like, "Let's go hide in that garage with all the chainsaws." Like,
right.
yeah.
No, that's right.
The running car and the chainsaw.
Right. The girl's like, wait,
Yeah.
why can't we just get in the car? Like, no, let's just go hide behind those chains. And the killer's like,
Yeah.
that is definitely a commercial.
See, yeah, I think that villain was fine. I mean, obviously, he's supposed to be a pretty generic villain. I thought the overall Red Room, I guess it's really only the spoiler. You hear about the Red Room, but you don't
Yeah.
know it's a flying fortress. I thought the reveal for that was really cool.
Don't you
Because it kind of shows how hidden it is.
Don't you think the
but-
Avengers would have figured that out?
I mean, you'd think Iron Man would be able to track it, but I don't know. I mean...
And where was that? Was that floating over? What country was that?
Well, that's the other thing. At this time, literally, I think Hulk and Thor are actually on Sakaar. No, they're not. No, yeah, wait, are they? Yeah, they are. So Hulk and Thor are gone, but Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Captain America, Falcon, like all these guys are still there. Which I know we like to not talk about that because you can criticize every movie in that aspect. Like, why didn't Hulk just jump over there? But,
I did like the references though to the Marvel movies. You know how like when the Elena said like, do you think the god from space has to take an Advil after a fight? You know, like something like that.
That's true.
that was a great one. Yeah,
you think Thor has to take an ibuprofen or something?
Yeah, ibuprofen. Right. Not Advil.
Not Advil.
Ibuprofen. Not Advil.
Clarify the
My
drug.
bad. I didn't fix that.
But yeah, I think. Are there any other spoilers that you think we missed, Max?
So maybe one last spoiler. What you guys will probably know better than this. That ship that Natasha gets at the end of the movie, the spaceship,
Yeah.
the plane, was that the Guardians of the Galaxy plane?
It looked really similar, actually. That's
No,
not...
it looked like the Quinjet. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the Quinjet, although I don't know why. I was expecting Captain America to be in it. I guess he could have been in it, but that's literally that's the plane they're flying in Infinity War. Remember Captain America, we thought he was a Skrull? That's literally the plane they're flying out of there.
Why would they not have him be on it then?
I don't know. That's why I was wondering. When the movie ended and cut to fireflies and like a tree, I was thinking, why did you not just show like Captain America in that plane? That would have made a lot more sense.
Speaking of Firefly, that's a good point though. That was definitely kind of surprising me that he was able to get that. And I don't think they really explained how he got it in that field either.
He's
He
just
just
sleeping on a
dragged there?
freaking road and just like, see what I can do with time and money. I'm like, who are you and how'd you get a freaking
I
Quinjet?
don't know who that was. He was always sleeping. Wait, what was the? Oh yeah, no. I think Max actually. I saw Max. I think were you like connected with the whistling theme of the movie?
Yeah, you know that touched a nerve for me. It was pretty wholesome, and it was pretty sad when she whistled at Natasha's grave.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I had kind of forgotten that Black Widow jumped off a cliff on some planet in space and to her demise. So I was like, wait, how the hell did she die? But
yeah, you know, I agree with that. That actually was kind of crazy. That end credit scene. For a second, I was watching the movie and it ended, and I was thinking, okay, well then I was like waiting for the next movie she was going to be in. But then it only hit home at the end credit scene that, oh crap, wait, she's actually dead. I mean, I know they can usually bring back characters, but it's pretty confirmed she's not coming back because like the situation with the actor and she's been in the universe for so long. And it only had owned me that she was actually dead in the universe at that moment. I was like, oh crap, wait, this actually might be the last movie. Even though there still might be another sequel. They're already talking about fitting in another sequel.
Well, this?
But, yeah.
Jeez.
Which I don't know how that'd be possible unless they whistle 10 more times.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, boys. It sounds like they're trying to milk the cow a little bit.
I
wouldn't be opposed to watching another movie with Black Widow on screen.
I would see it for sure.
I mean, it could be like a super prequel, like Budapest.
I would actually be down to see one of the her through the training phase, or maybe like a TV show, because like when she's a kid into like turning into the beast that she was. It seems she was already like talented as a kid. It seemed like with her fighting skills, but not as good as she was as like an adult. But I did want to mention what Max just said about the jumping off the cliff in Endgame. They are staying consistent with the amount of damage that people get from falling from really high places, because both Black Widow and Gamora, when they jumped off that cliff, well, I guess Thanos threw Gamora, like there's only a little bit of blood from the back of their head. That's the only thing, and everything else is just perfectly intact. I think if you jump from a cliff that high, I mean, I'm no scientist, but
your hair would be perfectly aligned.
I think you'd probably be very not lifelike after you land on the ground. I'm no scientist, but
yeah.
Even though Max and I got in an argument about what would happen if you jumped into lava, but that's a different argument.
Oh well. Yeah, we don't need to get into that.
All right, that'll be on the next live stream. But I'm going to read a comment here. Five Nights at Trolls World Tour said it feels bad for me, Mania, because we only have 2 people in the chat. Hey, you know what?
Hey, that's the last second live stream, okay?
He commented and said, but we are their true fans. That is true.
True.
Hey, the less people in here, the more special.
How many subs do we have here?
23,000.
23,000. We should get a little more than 3.
Hey.
23,000 subs?
Yeah, hey, and the people in the chat right now, you are a true fan.
Where's the other 22,998?
To be honest, when we live stream, there's literally people that are all around the world. So for some people right now, it could be like 4 a.m, which I'd probably still be awake, but it could be like 5.
Excuses, Kenny.
Oh yeah, no, I know. It's my fault. I take full responsibility as the owner of Movie Mania. But
No. I'm saying if they're subbed and they're not on this live stream, they're dead to me.
Yeah, well, you know, this is going to be posted afterwards, but...
Good, I hope they see it.
I'll pin this part of I'll pin this part of the live stream in the comments. But, so basically, Max gave Black Widow a 7.5. You gave it a 7.5. I gave it an 8.5. And I think my score, I'd keep it right around the same. I think we're going to do an updated list of at least us, because we've reviewed. We can always go. Max will have his original scores, but I was thinking we could go back to every movie and like reevaluate our score, because I've given a lot of 10s. We were talking about it before.
Every movie that you've ever reviewed?
Yeah, I think I'd change a lot of my scores. I gave a lot of 10s and 9s to movies I probably would change. But I think this should stay around 8.5. I still think this movie's really good. Some really frustrating stuff. There's good action, and this movie does one thing I didn't mention was it respects the lore and MCU in general, versus another movie, Captain Marvel, that totally just crapped on everything and did not respect anything, in my opinion. This actually this respected the universe and added to it and made sense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I definitely think this is a good movie, a lot to like about it. And Max, you want to give your final thoughts on the movie?
Sure. I think, it wasn't any, like, it's no Civil War. It's no Endgame.
Yeah.
It's not gonna, blow the box offices away, but it's a good movie. It tells a good story. There's some questionable parts in there, but it was nice to get a sort of background of who Black Widow is for the common fan. I'm sure you guys had already known. I think 7.5, it's kind of a, it's a nice, slightly above average movie. And I'd like to, stick to my guns. I'll stay with 7.5 for now.
And you're just to clarify, your scale would be more similar to Jake's. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that 10 would be perfect. So that would no flaws, perfect movie. There should theoretically be 0 or 1, where this is the bar that can't be crossed. But 2, Kenny, you might think, oh, that was a great movie. I'll give it a 10. So.
Yeah. So what 10 for you to be like running out of the theater, like pumping your fist, like jumping out.
Right. Like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like what maybe our fathers did when they went to see Rocky in theaters.
Throwing stuff around the theater. Jake, what are your overall thoughts? Wrap up the stream.
Like I said before, I think I said it in the non-spoiler review. This is a long overdue movie for a character that we've been asking for a solo film since as early as 2008, I believe, when we saw her in Iron Man as a side character. And here we are, 13 years, Iron Man 2, and here we are,
2009.
13 years, 2009, whatever year it was.
2000. Yeah.
Can I finish my point?
Yeah,
I forgot what I was going to say. But basically, we were all asking for this film, and here we are 13, 12, whatever years later, and we get it. And it's a good movie, good addition to the universe. And like Max just said, it fleshed out this character for the average moviegoer as well as like the fans of the universe. And it did not do anything negative to the character. It didn't make me not like her from the past ones. And honestly, I think it boosted her character. And now I want to go back and watch those past movies, knowing this movie happened before all that stuff that we've seen before. So. Yeah. It was a pretty good film. Gave it 7.5. I'm sticking with that. And yeah, that's definitely my score for this movie.
Yeah, and let me just read some comments before we wrap this up. Movie Mania on debunking weight and Pacific Rim Godzilla. I think Godzilla and his universe monsters are way heavier, and those scenes just had different cinematography. That is possible. I still think that I think that the way they shoot it in the movies can have play a big factor, but I still think the weight difference is right around the same. Let's see. Movie Mania, can you do an updated Kaiju Dream Team list? I probably will do that because we did the Dream Team, the 5v5 thing. Yeah. I think I want to do another one of those again, especially since there's a lot of new monsters. And I think you should be a Kaiju only channel. 5 nights at Trolls and World Tour. Well, I do a lot of Kaiju stuff, there's no doubt, but movie reviewing, I love all types of movies, so that's why I focus on Kaijus a lot.
Can you block people on YouTube? Because that guy needs to leave.
Hey, so basically, I obviously love monsters and cover it a lot, but I love movies like a lot. I just like movies in general, a lot of different kinds of movies, and I love superhero movies. I love horror. I love I have nothing else.
Theme parks.
But I love a lot of different types of movies, and we all have our different things. I obviously love monsters, but I love all sorts of types of movies. But
just wrap it up.
Yeah, we're approaching 15 minutes, but thank you for everyone who was able to join, and thank you, Max, for calling in.
Yeah, before we close it off, just want to say thank you to our special guest today. They called into our first caller to our live stream ever to the channel.
I gotta pull
Max.
Max for the
Max, where can the people find you at?
They can't find me anywhere. I'm off the grid, but it's a real honor to be the first caller in, and I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys, for having me. Looking forward to the next movie.
Hey, no, definitely. Hey, Max, if you have us on screen right now, we actually have a picture of you on the screen right
It's
now.
not showing up. I don't know why.
Does it say fraud in all caps?
No,
letters?
no, not that one.
What is
It was from when you did the video with us on Thursday.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Thank you.
like I said, I really appreciate having me on. It's a true honor to be the first caller. Here's many more.
Hey, definitely.
Yep.
Well, hey, we'll be in touch and definitely be on the lookout for Max to appear in future videos. But yeah, thank you, Max.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
That's it.
That's it. And now, thanks, Max is now disconnected. We appreciate his appearance. And yeah, I guess I'll be having a lot of videos planned, different kaiju videos and some other different types of videos coming up. But thank you everyone for joining this once again. Thank you for everyone who was able to join. I know it's not easy for a lot of people. We don't plan it too far ahead of time. And like we said, there's a lot of people that live in different parts of the world where they might be working, school, even sleeping. But we appreciate anyone who's able to join.
Yeah.
And we still will do that one crazy live stream with the trivia and punishment thing. I promise we'll do that eventually.
And be on the lookout for some videos from outside in Gallenberg, Tennessee. We'll be going there here soon. And if you guys liked our last reviews when we're reviewing things on the balcony or
getting chased by bears.
Getting chased by bears. I'm not sure. Do we ever do a creek video on this channel, or is that just Mountain Warriors? Well, we could. I think we are doing. Stay tuned for a big movie review with a lot of special guests. It's a big video, and
it's one of these ideas I'm psyched on my mind about.
And we're very excited to put that out to you guys. So be on the lookout for that. Probably say a couple weeks. I'll probably take a little bit to edit that.
Yeah.
But anyways, though, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys in the next video or live stream, and we'll talk to you then. See you guys. Bye guys.